I'm kind of excited about that there are more companies understanding the fundamentals of building relationships. Right? It's not AI, it's not chatbots, it's not another spam email in your inbox. It's really about building relationships to people and providing value, giving value, taking value back, like having that mutual relationship. And sometimes I feel like in sales and marketing, we kind of sometimes it goes too far in the automations or in the smartness or the bombarding that we really not helping the space. So I think the idea is to create meaningful connections and to drive business and help the best companies grow faster. But sometimes some of these methods that used to work has also kind of damaged the space a little bit to help the best companies grow. So I think that's something we have in common, so to speak. When we realized that we can reach out to our networks to ask for intros, that wasn't something that was very clear to us in the beginning, like this is how you do it. But we early on we saw a huge difference between reaching out cold to somebody and then like reaching out with a warm intro and something like this everybody knows. So but we in the beginning we had these power hours in sales where you do do an hour where you just go cold, or you email or you LinkedIn people to get them on a demo or a first chat. And we actually starting to doing like network power hours just because we saw that was much more efficient. But we still had that you get that hour where you're clearly focusing in on just that together with a team, super efficient to build pipeline or build the momentum in the sales pipeline. So that is something we've used the Swarm for as well, to kind of understand, do we have any of our VCs or our angel investors or previous colleagues that are connected to the networks that we want to tap into. Right, we started 3 years ago now. We're in the customer engagement space, but in the world of SaaS. So how to engage customers throughout the user journey in the perfect time with the perfect person looped in. We started actually out from the technical perspective, which is something you really shouldn't do. But what happened was that we have worked in telehealth, me and my co-founder. So kind of connecting patients to doctors. We had the idea of like, what if you can create this like video experience where you connect to people at the perfect time, but in another industry. So the idea was to explore this for SaaS. What we started off with was really a product where you could call your customers who was inside your own app. So instead of sending them emails or reaching out via phone, you could call customers while they were using your software. And that was, the crazy idea we started off with. But it turned out that was really, really efficient when it came to conversions. So we started selling that and went out to sales teams selling this, like, okay, you can call customers, but now through a new channel. But we realized that most of the sales teams that we went out to didn't have really any insight into their user base and what their users were doing at all. So we kind of stumbled upon this bigger opportunity, which was to unify the data that you collect from your customers. And instead of providing that data to just product teams, you can now also provide it to commercial teams. I was a software engineer, really coming from product into the world of SaaS. We had this idea of how to transform this from the experience side, from the product side of things. And I started to reach out to people outside my network to get with the intent to network, right? So really started to, really do cold outreach to people and saying, hey, I'm building this and this in the space. Would you be able to give me feedback, or help me provide with any insights on the space? So that's kind of the 0 to 1 networking in the beginning for me. And I went to a couple of events. I think that helped us really, in a short period of time, pitch. You learn so much faster when you talk to 10 person in an hour than you do if you talk to 5 in a day. So that was really helpful in the beginning to kind of iterate on the message, iterate on the pitch. But also, like, looking back, it was very, me and Jonathan buying a ticket to a SaaS conference and, like, just go out and shake hands, like say hi. So it's but it's yeah, it's you learn a lot when you pitch your first MVP or your first product, and you can see the reaction and what sticks and what doesn't. So yeah, I think that kind of, going into a community or going into a in-person space has also been super super valuable for us. Cold outbound, automated outbound without context doesn't work. So it's really really hard to cut through the noise in today's world, where you have those very sophisticated solutions doing mass emailing to the whole, any person in the whole wide world, right? The more crowded other channels become, the more you trust kind of your friends or your inner circle or your community or the professional network that you're in. So I think the modern buyer is really, you're a bit reluctant to buy something that is not recommended by a friend or that hasn't been used in some other places. So I think that's really really key, to kind of come in there with a warm intro or a recommendation from a previous customer um, in your conversations. I had this idea when we were starting to recruit, like, okay, so I'll find the best people, and then I'll take them to dinner, or I'll have coffees with them, and if they reject us, or they don't want to work, or it's not the right time at that point, you ask for two intros to people they know that are the best. So you kind of always, it becomes this hydra or whatever, like, that keeps feeding you good targets, or good what do you say, like, candidates, that's the word, candidates. So that's an idea that I always have. Then it's like, you have to be very disciplined, and always, it's a bit like in sales, where you book the next meeting when you're on the meeting, but you do it there with another person. So that's something, you need that first introduction, and then you can kind of go deeper into those networks where you have previously never been.